Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. The hum of conversation at the Genoa City Athletic Club was deceptively calm, as if the world hadn't shifted beneath the Newman Empire's feet. But nothing in Genoa City was ever truly calm for long. Noah Newman spotted Audra Charles before she noticed him. She sat alone at a small round table, a glass of champagne poised elegantly between her fingers. She looked victorious, composed, almost radiant, yet there was an edge in her eyes that hadn't been there years ago in London. He sauntered over casually, drinking alone, that doesn't seem like your style. Audra's lips curved into a slow smile, Noah still sneaking up on people. They shared a brief look, one layered with history. London, rain-soaked streets, missed trains, lost umbrellas. You always had a talent for losing umbrellas, she teased. I prefer to think of it as an excuse to duck into pubs. She lifted her glass slightly. I've landed my dream job. That calls for a toast. She shook her head. No, I'm toasting myself by myself. I'm the only person I can rely on. There it was, the steal. Noah studied her. You've got a best friend who believes in you enough to bring you on board. That counts. Audra's expression softened just for a fraction of a second. She's brilliant, loyal, fearless. Sally, Noah guessed. Audra didn't confirm it outright, but her silence said enough. Noah leaned back in his chair. Abbott Communications taking over Newman Media, that's your big win. I didn't break any laws, she replied evenly. Maybe not, but that company was built on a lot of damage. Audra didn't flinch. The Newmans have built plenty on damage. Kyle Abbott drifted in at that moment, amused to see the pair sitting together. He ordered a drink and joined them without hesitation. Well, this is nostalgic. They exchanged pleasantries, but the air quickly shifted. Kyle brought up Nick's condition in passing, vague, careful words. Noah brushed it off, though concern flickered in his eyes. Then Kyle steered the conversation back to the takeover. Abbott Communications is finally giving the Newmans a taste of their own medicine. Audra nodded. It's about time karma paid a visit. Noah's jaw tightened, so this is revenge. It's business, Kyle countered smoothly. Victor played puppet master for decades. And what about the rest of us? Noah shot back. You think my mom, my dad, my sister won't feel this? Kyle shrugged. They'll cope. Nikki can sell some jewelry. The mustache will survive. Noah stood abruptly. You sound just like him. Kyle laughed. Audra joined him. As Noah walked out disgusted, Audra tilted her head. Weird. What? Kyle asked. It's almost like we're on the same side. He smiled slowly. Maybe we are. At Crimson Lights, tension simmered under the scent of espresso. Chelsea Lawson cornered Sally Spectra near the counter. We need to talk. Sally sighed. About what? Billy stealing Newman Media? I didn't hold the pen. You're working for him, Chelsea pressed. You're part of this. I'm fulfilling a contract. Chelsea's eyes flashed. You know Billy has demons. His obsession with Chancellor is dangerous. He's painted a target on his back. Sally crossed her arms. Spare me. Chelsea lowered her voice. Work with me. Help me stop him before he destroys himself. Sally blinked. We're finished. Chelsea went still. I ended it, Sally continued. It was me or Chancellor. He chose the company. Chelsea absorbed that, then pressed harder. If you care about him at all. You cheated on him, Sally cut in sharply. Where was your concern then? Chelsea's face drained of color. Something terrible is coming. I can feel it. Sally gave a humorless laugh. You sound like a Newman. The words landed like a slap. It looks like you landed right where you belong, Sally added coolly. Chelsea stood frozen as Sally walked away. At the Newman Ranch, Victoria paced like a general plotting war. Nick sat on the sofa, listening with visible fatigue. I was up all night, Victoria said. We can use Summer. Nick immediately frowned. Use my daughter. She's furious at Mom. If Summer and Daniel threaten to cut Phillies out, it could force her to see reality. Nick shook his head. That's rushed. We can't sit around waiting for Dad to fix this. He will. Victoria's voice cracked slightly. What if he can't? He looks weak, Nick, if he makes a mistake. Nick winced suddenly, clutching his side. Victoria rushed toward him. There, that you keep doing that. I'm tired. You're not just tired. He waved it off. Don't drag Summer into this. Victoria's resolve flickered. I almost went after Billy out of revenge. I didn't, I sent the kids away instead. Nick stood carefully. Wait until tomorrow. She studied him. Maybe you'll change your mind and fly to Milan. That's not happening. Why? He met her gaze, something unspoken behind his eyes. I have other reasons to stay in Genoa City. Victoria didn't like the sound of that. The fractures across Genoa City widened as night deepened. Back at the club, Kyle and Audra remained seated, their earlier laughter fading into something more contemplative. You really think Victor won't retaliate? Audra asked. Kyle smirked. He always does, that's half the fun. And the other half. Watching him scramble. Audra considered Noah's words about family, about collateral damage, but she shoved aside the doubt. The Newmans had never hesitated when others suffered. At Crimson Lights, Chelsea remained rooted to the spot long after Sally left. Billy was spiraling, she knew it. His hunger for power had eclipsed everything, including love. But Sally's words stung because they were partially true. Chelsea's past was messy, complicated. Yet her fear wasn't about morality, it was about danger. Victor Newman didn't lose quietly. And Billy Abbott had just declared war. At the ranch, Victoria lingered after Nick went upstairs. Her plan felt right strategically, ruthless, effective. But Nick's reaction unsettled her. And his pain. She replayed the way he'd doubled over. He wasn't telling her something. Meanwhile, upstairs, Nick stood alone in the dim light of his bedroom, gripping the dresser as another wave of discomfort hit him. Not now, he muttered. He couldn't afford weakness. Not when too many pieces were in motion. Not when he had other reasons for staying. The next morning, tension carried over like fog. Noah avoided both Kyle and Audra. At the club, Audra watched him from a distance, unsettled by how easily lines had been drawn. Were they truly on the same side? Or were they just united by resentment? Kyle seemed confident. Audra wasn't entirely sure. At Crimson Lights, Sally replayed Chelsea's warning. Something terrible. She didn't believe in premonitions. But she did believe in Victor Newman's capacity for destruction. Billy was daring fate. And she had walked away. Was that strength or cowardice? At the ranch, Victoria waited for Nick's final answer. He emerged, composed but pale. So she asked, I'm not going to Milan's. Her frustration flared. You're choosing to stay. Oh yes. For what reason? He held her gaze. Because something bigger is happening here. Victoria didn't press further, but unease settled in her bones. Between Victor's war, Billy's gamble, Philly's fury, and Nick's secret pain, Genoa City felt like it was standing on a fault line. And one wrong move would crack everything open. Noah stood apart from the chaos, watching people he cared about align themselves against one another. Kyle and Audra embraced retaliations. Chelsea feared disaster. Sally stood defiant. Victoria strategized. Nick concealed something deeper. And somewhere in the distance, Victor Newman waited. Genoa City had seen wars before. But this one felt personal. This one felt like family against family. And as alliances hardened and secrets simmered beneath polite smiles, it became clear that no one would escape unscathed. Not the Newmans. Not the Abbotts. Not the ones caught in between. The champagne glasses would shatter. The threats would escalate. And the truth about why Nick refused to leave town would soon demand the spotlight. Because in Genoa City, secrets never stayed buried for long.